Good morning to everyone. I am Giulia Scarafoni, and today I'm here to represent Ask for Progress of People. And before starting, I would love to thank you all for having me today, even if from remote due to my health conditions. And and also I would love to thank Barbara and Zbigek for all the efforts they have done for to have me here today. But let's get to the topic. I'm here today to present the K-Action 3 project of GeoCitizen Atri as to demonstrate how powerful can be structured dialogue and mutual communication between policymakers and young people to foster youth participation. I will start by I would like to start by saying that all government strategies and initiatives should aim to support democracy and inclusive growth, and that such initiatives should make a specific efforts to include the most relevant, vulnerable, unrepresented, and marginalized groups in society. Youth is one of those groups because of its huge heterogeneity and also because it it is more difficult for them to make their voices heard at the political level. And the question is, why is it important for governments to put youth audience at the heart of their initiatives and strategies? The first factors are that youth are a huge share of voters. They are leading the economic growth, and also because with their protests, for example, they can have a huge impact on the decision-making process. But also, um, including youth can mitigate the risk of social, cultural, and political marginalization. Active and engaged young people can be a source for government innovation that can lead to a positive impact both at the individual level and also for the overall development of the community. And then making young people uh, engaged can foster active citizenship and also can make young people more interested and more understand and they can understand better how the decision making process works and how they can make an impact. Structured dialogue for this purpose has been proven to be a useful tool to foster youth engagement and youth participation, uh, and has been identified as a cross-cutting priority within the Erasmus Plus program. So the overall advice is to catch the several opportunities the program provides us to implement this sort of initiative to foster youth participation. But what is structured dialogue? It is a participatory process between youth and decision makers aimed to empower and engage young people in youth-related policies, strategies, and initiatives. In this sense, the GeoCitizen Atri project made a huge use of structured dialogue and also of GeoWeb technologies um, to build a space that could be transparent, inclusive, and fostering structured discussion between youth and policymakers at the local level. The platform used has been developed by the University of Salzburg, and it's a geospatial web framework. Here you can find flow, the flow chart on how this platform works, and the report. And the reporting here is intended as the active contribution one can make, just to make it clear. Well, after registering, anyone can freely consult the proposals uploaded, and they can give their contribution through the function of comments. They can share on social media the proposals, and they can also vote those proposals to improve participative democracy. In fact, these platforms is also used for participatory spatial planning, community interaction, and citizen collaboration. Those are only some of the several use a municipality or government can make of this platform. The project, as I said before, is an Erasmus Plus Key Action 3 on structured dialogue, and it has run from 2019, 2022 to 2021. So you can imagine that in the middle there was the COVID-19 pandemic, which delayed the project itself, and can imagine also that preludes to all a series of challenges we faced in implementing the project. The actors involved were two groups of 200 high school students from the Municipality of Atri, the Municipal Administration of Atri, and us for Progress Youth Workers. The core objective was to encourage the conscious participation in the youth-related decision-making process in the area of Atri, and political decision makers, in a nutshell, of course, asked students to draft proposals about potential intervention of redevelopment, rethinking, and enhancement of urban voids in the targeted area, and to upload them on the GeoCitizen platform. Then, after joint consultation, the main outcome is the actual realization of the best proposal. But do you think that to foster youth participation, is it enough to provide high schoolers with a new tool and to say, okay, now let's cooperate? I don't think so. Well, of course not. And now, this is where the role of the youth worker kicks in, which I think it has been a key for the success of the project. I think that to say key to success may sound a bit high sounding, but we have to consider the barriers for youth participation, which are the lack of information and access to education, the administration lack of interest, the lack of use-only spaces, and the youth lack of trust. How we overcame those barriers? For the lack of information and access to education, we provided 2 cycles of training. One mostly informative has seen the young students being protagonists of non-formal methodologies, activities with non-formal methodologies, where they have been informed about all the opportunities the European Union gives to young people and how European Union works for youth and with youth. And also they've been educated on the core principle and the identity of the European citizenship. They also have been trained to draft and develop a proposal, a project, in order to be able to submit coherent and efficient proposals on the platform. The administration lack of interest has been quite challenging because of the swinging engagement of the administration, and it has been overcome through the facilitation and the continuous animation of youth workers to keep their attention high on the priorities of the project and to see and try to accomplish the project objectives. The lack of youth-only spaces is due to the lack of youth organization in the region, so it's an overall challenge. And they are fundamental to increase youth participation because they provide young people safe spaces where they can express themselves and where they can develop their ideas and discuss them together before bringing them to broader organizations. And we created an enabling environment in the only youth-only space we were able to find, so their own school. Youth lack of trust, it's also a challenging barrier to overcome because of, and it's directly linked to the lack of information and the lack of spaces and also the lack of youth organization in the territory. We overcome them together, of course, with the municipal administration through public discussion and the joint evaluation of the proposals they uploaded on the platform during the final event of the project, where the municipality held a city open board, where they presented the challenges and feasibility of the selected proposal and discussed together with the students, the recipients of the project, to what proposal to choose. And then I think the most relevant objective result of the project was the political commitment on realizing the youth center on the premises of a students association, and with the actual ratification in front of the students of their pledge to realize this center. But as we all know, a project brings with it many challenges, and I want you to keep an eye on the one we found within this specific project. The first is, as I said before, the swinging engagement of municipal administration due to their skepticism beforehand on getting involved in this kind of project because it can be seen as a waste of time. Thus, it's fundamental to bring their attention and to keep to being engaged with them. Then the lack of interest of both parties, because also youth can be thought to be engaged in this kind of project. In this case, the pandemic played an important role because of the time dilation of the project, and also because of the impossibility to physically carry on the activities with them, and also with political decisors. And what I think is fundamental is to avoid to provide students or young people an inconsistent training, because training is really fundamental to make young people aware of their possibilities on what can they do and how can they do activities, and how can they make an actual impact in the society, and also at the decision making level. Not having an external support can be challenging also, because of the lack of interest, and also because of the many things the municipality has to do. And so it could be useful to rely on a relevant stakeholder, as youth organization, for example, as the Municipality of Atri did. And then, to conclude my speech, my presentation, it is important to target communication strategy, which includes both in presence, both face-to-face meetings, and online communication, because a channel to communicate with young people must be appealing. So it could be online to get to them, but then to build a strong-term relationship and trust with young people, it's really important to be present, to make in presence meetings, and so this is the main challenge I presented to you.